Looks like we're back.
What were we talking about? We're just talking about we did a
Yeah, I was just talking about because we did a cipher the other day, and with we did a cipher with Essence of Sound, and there was a point in the cipher when there were four of us, and the three of us who are poets, began to go back and forth with or around with a spoken word session, and then so I was just I was sitting there. I wasn't playing any music, and I didn't participate in the word making part, word bringing part, whatever. And I realized that, and I was tempted to drift, but then I realized that it was just important for me to stay engaged during that part, because even though I wasn't actively in the physical sense doing anything that had relation to channeling this artistic energy into the world, I was still participating in that process. Things were still coming through me, and connecting through everyone else. So it's just important for someone who is observing or in the audience who may not be acting at a particular time to remain in that mode in order to lift the event to its potential level.
Yeah, and that kind of led, that in a big way, that kind of led us to talking. Is it back? Yeah. Okay. That kind of led us to talking about somehow, as it always, everything goes back to stories of us. Talking about characters, because there's this idea in acting about staying in character. That even if things don't go necessarily well, or like you're not necessarily doing what you want to necessarily do in the role, you still have to stay in character, regardless of what is happening. And that's something really cool to learn from stories, because when you have a story, everybody's in character. When things don't turn out and you're reading a book or you're watching a movie, you don't see all of a sudden you're watching a movie and it's like the most epic part, you know what I'm saying? James Bond is about to, have his last showdown, and it's like they're both holding the guns to each other, and like it's one shot, and whoever gets it first wins, and all of a sudden he drops his gun and he goes, stop, stop, stop. You don't see James Bond like saying, stop, can we rewind that? Can we do that again? You don't see that in the movies.
Unless it's a comedy.
Or unless it's a comedy or something like that. But even I would even not even necessarily in the movies, but even on stage, in an actual play itself, a play, a Broadway, whatever. When a character, something happens that's not expected, or he doesn't like whatever, even if he doesn't like its role, you don't see that character in the middle of a freaking Broadway in front of a bunch say, "Oh, we need to do that again. I messed up. They stay in character. And I think as us being the narrators of our own lives, us being the main characters of our own lives, I think there's something very valuable to staying ourselves, staying true to ourselves, staying in character in the most uncharacteristic situations. And so I think that right there is another storyteller insight, which is stay in character. Things may not, in life, in the story of your life, things aren't always going to go the way you want it to. Things aren't always going to go the way that you plan them to. And things may come up that may be better than you ever planned, but regardless, stay in character. Stay true to yourself, and stay true to the character, which is you. So, speak life, storytellers.
Speak life.